Thank you so much. You're making me blush. All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good
I hope you
evening.
can hear me. Good evening. It's
Good
nice.
evening, ma.
Good evening. It's nice seeing these wonderful faces. Some that I know, some that I don't. And it's a privilege being here. I want to thank the organizers of this program, Muiwa and his team. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much for reaching out. It's with great pleasure that I'm here this evening. How have we been? I like interactive forums because I like practicality. I like to give you something that you can use. I don't know if you're getting me. I like to say things that are relatable, that something that is kind of that when you leave this meeting, you can go back and say, yes, this is what I need to do to make this happen. So because of that, I would like, I would like the meeting to be very interactive. So I've been asked to speak on the system of growth in crisis or turbulent season. It's a very interesting topic and it kind of resonates with myself and with my journey personally. I'm saying that because looking back, it had been a step of growth from one point to another. So I would like to start with, let's break down the English there is quite much. So let's break it down and bring it to our level. The system of growth in crisis or turbulent season, what does it mean? What is it saying? There is growth there is system, there is crisis. Those are the key words. When you talk about a system, you're talking about an interacting or independent group of items that formed a unified whole. What do I mean? For instance, your body. Your body is a system on its own. You have your digestive, respiratory, reproductive. You have several constituents. These things are mentioned are also systems on their own. In your digestive systems, there are several elements that come together to interact and make it a unified whole. So when I'm talking about a system, you know that, it means bringing some things together. For instance, I want to make jollof rice. The system we are talking about, the whole thing there is your jollof rice. But when you want to make it, you need things like your cooker, whatever it is, either electric or your gas cooker, whatever you are using, or your stove, or your local firewood, whatever you are using as the cooking element. Then you have your pot before you get to your ingredients, your rice, your everything you need to make that jollof rice. Everything together is a system. I'm saying jollof rice because I know nobody here that's not taking jollof rice. So you picture what I'm trying to pass across. So when we now talk about the system of growth, we are talking about what are the things you need to bring together to form that unified. And what are we talking about? What's that unified whole we are talking about? It is growth. But the third keyword there is crisis or turbulent season. Crisis and turbulence are the same. They are saying the same thing. So crisis, in times of crisis, we are in a state in this country. When you talk about crisis, is when things are not going the way they should, when there is chaos. I'm still using English to qualify English, but I think you're getting what I'm trying to say. When things are not normal, when things are scattered, when things are not going the way they should. I want to break it down. I want to make complex things simple so you can adapt it quickly. So that's when you're talking about crisis. So we are talking about in crisis. We are talking about what do I need to put in place to ensure that when things are not normal, when things are scattered, when there is, Yoba will say, when things are not just the way they are. What are those things, those ingredients, those elements, those substances I need to bring together to make it a unified whole? And the truth is, no matter how advantaged you are, there will be time of crisis. Life will dish something to you. It's now up to you to on what are the things you need to put in place. If you know them, fine. You won't just take what life dishes out to you. But if you don't, you just have to join the story of those that will say, "Oh, that's how we see it. Nigeria is just like that. The world is just like that." And you just take anything that comes, all in the name of not knowing the ingredients, the substances, the elements you need to put in place to ensure that even when things are not normal, you are still part of those few that they will talk about and say, even though Nigeria is in this state, this also person is a star, is an Amazon, is making headlines. So without further ado, don't let me take too much time in explaining the topic. Let's dive into these elements. Now, I would like to pick like a storyline. I know most of us that are registered for the course, mostly undergraduates, fresh graduates. Those are the category, most people that are registered, like people that are about to enter real life and people that are just thinking about the real life. Permit me, we are still in school. You are still under that euphoria of somebody is still sending money to you. You have not gotten to the point when you will turn right and you're like, I need to get this, and you know that it's all on you. If you want a good life, you have to pave the way for yourself. If you want this, you have to get it. Like nobody owe you anything. Most people have not gotten to that stage, and that's why I'm calling it like real life. Real life starts when you finish school. Am I saying you are not living right now? Of course not. And if you are still in school and you're hearing this, it's of great advantage. You know why? You can put those in place. It will look like, oh, this is not done with school and it's just flying. Life is made on principles, and if you know them, if you know how to put them in place, you will thrive. Irrespective, you will thrive. That's just it. And when God now had His grace, is now multiplication. So what are these systems? What are the things that must work together to ensure growth? The first thing I jotted down when I was, ruminating about this topic is realizing, acknowledging, and accepting the reality that we are in a turbulent season. Nothing can help someone that is delusional. Absolutely nothing. If you are deaf and you're trying to tell yourself that, oh, I'm not deaf, I can hear everyone. The truth of the matter is that you are deaf. There's nothing we can do about it. Until you come to that realization that I can't hear anybody and you are willing to receive help, that is when help can come. So if you think, oh, I'm talking to the category of people that think my dad is in this social place, he's making this social money, my future is secured. Yes, most of us are more advanced. Some of us are more advantaged than the other. We are not denying that fact. Some of us, by the virtue of people that have paid way for us, we have that advantage already. But I'm talking to people that, see, if you base your advantage on man, I'm not saying anything bad will happen to anybody. I'm just trying to tap us and wake up from our emotional state and bring us to a logical state, bring us to reality. If you put your trust in anything or anybody, especially as a Nigerian, then you are very delusional. See, the world is in a state right now where nothing is promised. When COVID happened, it was like the whole world woke up from slumber. Everybody was confused. Even the most experienced started saying that, oh, we don't know what will happen. We just trust. Even drugs that microbiologists, pharmacists that would have been like, oh, we know this, we know that. We're saying, let's just trust. Because at that point, everybody knew we are in a state where nothing is guaranteed. I want you to come with that to understand that nothing is guaranteed, even if everything is guaranteed. Because what if this person you are trusting so much, the US government just wakes up to the policy, or Nigerian government just bring a policy that affects whatever is making you trust in him, and everything has gone down the drain? What will you do? So please don't be in a state of delusion. Don't put your trust in anybody. The only person you can put your trust in, for those that believe in God, is God, because He's the only sure thing outside everything. Even your parents. Yes, I'm saying this with my full chest. Don't put your trust in them. Yes, God or the society or whatever is using them is making them provide for you at the moment, seeing you through. Don't worry, when you get to this stage, I'll talk to my family friend. I'm really emphasizing on, you don't start getting that people you should not get angry to when you leave, or when something gets me to my, take responsibility and know what you want. Don't run with an entitlement mentality. If you want to grow in this life, I like saying it this way, just take, okay, I'll try as much as possible not to use any F word. Nobody owes you, not even the people that gave birth to you. That mentality, please dead it. If you know you want to grow, even in the chaos, even in the crisis, if you know you want to actually, you want to look back in the next 3, 4, 5 years, and you want to be like, yes, I've done something good for myself. Put it at the back of your mind. In case for people that the back of their mind is very far, put it in front of your mind that nobody owe me anything, not even my government. Yes, I know, oh, the government should provide this, the government should do this, but Nigeria has shown us that if you put your trust in some government, you need to regret it. You have to make way, even where there seems to be no way. And you'll be able to do that when you know that nobody owes you anything. There is a story in the scriptures. Permit me, I'm a Christian. When the children of Israel were leaving Egypt, when Moses told Pharaoh that we have to leave, and he refused, and he did all the things God asked him to do, the frog and everything, and they were leaving. One thing that kept the children of Israel in the wilderness for so long was an entitlement mentality. They were telling Moses, see, if we're in Egypt, we'll be eating this. People that were slaves, so people that they flogged with. If we were this, we'll be taking this. For some people that will be waiting, especially, I'm not saying so I can feel, I'm not ready to stress myself. Please, I can't even be looking. You've zeroed your mind that it is a man that would bring you out of whatever you are and put you in the next level. I just pray with that man, that you're hoping for, there are no other baggages that will come with that. So please, what am I trying to emphasize? Zero your entitlement mentality. Nobody owe you anything, not even that your rich uncle or your rich sister, or maybe that your brother that has traveled abroad, and you put your mind that, he's in Canada, he will help my life. You can only start putting this system in place when you know that I am in this ocean with my Lord. In this crisis, I am with God. Like, there is nothing else I have except myself and God. People, if you check the history of people that have made it, except for people that inherited their wealth, if you check their background story, there were people that came for absolutely nothing. When I mean nothing, like zero. I was checking the story of a guy on YouTube, Taiwan, and I don't know, Taiwan, I don't know, and because people that have, made it in whichever sphere they have, whichever sector they are in. And one man, I can't recollect his name, he's into real estate, and he literally came out of nothing. They were living under the bridge. He and his mom. His dad died when he was young. And when his dad died, they evicted them from their house, and he had to live under the bridge. And this same man is making waves now in the real estate industry. And you'll be like, oh, it's because he was at a state where he knows that nobody owes him anything. And from there, he was able to, he was sponsored by his cousin to go to school, university. And from there, he started, his cousin was also into real estate. And he told him, oh, just put me through, let me know this, let me know that. He didn't even study anything related to real estate, he studied psychology. And he just told his cousin, after school, he would follow his cousin to the sites. His cousin was doing all these normal real estate agents, they are building house, not the big guns, like not the big ones. But from there, he said, they asked him what motivated, he said, I lived under the bridge. I don't want people living under the bridge. It wasn't even the money. It was the thing of, my life has seen this. I don't want others to go through it. And he entered real estate and he's making wave now. So please, zero that mentality of anybody owe you anything. And, this man's story will take me to my next point of, sit down and decide on what you want to achieve. The truth is, in life, when there is no not focus, when there is no goal, when you don't know the end point, starting the journey. What do I mean? For those in the university, yes, the institution is, I'll say LAUTECH because I'm from LAUTECH. Let's say, for instance, the way LAUTECH used to dash courses, you say, LAUTECH has given me, I don't want to call some courses so they don't feel annoyed. I'll call my course. LAUTECH has given me computer engineering. No. I said I want medicine. They gave me computer engineering. What are they expecting me to do with computer engineering? And you wallow in that for 6 years, and if ASU help your career, maybe. I'm sorry that I'm not trying to pinch you where it's painful, but I'm just trying to make it very realistic. And you just do all those years in that course, and because you don't like it, you didn't even come out with a good grade, and you're like, what next with my life? And from there, our story will not be like that. But you need to know what you want, irrespective of whatever life has dished out to you. The way you can give life back what you want, the way you can, get out of that situation is to dish out back to life that this is Life will tell you, this is what I want from you ask, but you have to dish it back by saying, this is what I also want. You need to know where you are going. Where are you going? What do you want to become? What change do you want to make? You might not be able to answer these questions in, let's say, 5 years fully, but you will answer them piece by piece. So I'm not expecting you to know that this is what I want and this is how I will get there. I'm also answering this question. I'm also on a journey. I've not gotten to where I want to get to, but I'm not where I used to be. So you need to know, I've seen a psychology graduate from UI. He's now a machine learning expert. Like, he travels out of the country and he's still in his final year. Like, everybody is, ASU is affecting everybody. But this guy is going for conferences. When ASU is ready, he will continue with school. You don't get it. I hope you got what I just said. Like, for the undergraduate, somebody that is an undergraduate like you, is scratching surfaces where even people that have finished school after 5 years have not even, like, they've not, the surface of what is, let's say it's 5 centimeters deep. They've not even scratched the surface of what he's doing. He's even talking to people in the working sector. Oh, this is how we do it, this is how we do it, this is how we go about it. He's making waves. And we just met at the conference, like, oh, okay, we network. And that's why you won't even know this guy has gone that far, the way he just talked and all that. I didn't even know he was still a student. Like, that's how good he has become. That's how far he knows what he wants. So sit down and decide on what you want. Have a goal. What do you want? Document it. Put it where you can always see it. Okay, let's say, for instance, the truth is, we all at every point in our life don't know what we want. If you're at that stage, you are very human. It is very normal. I can totally relate. But how do you now know what you want? For people that believe Christian, so you permit me, I can only speak from experience. So you permit me to say how I got to know mine. There is the part of your temperament. Oh, this is the kind of person I am. This is what makes me think the way I do. This is how I am wired. For instance, for those that know temperament and this thing so well, this is not a temperament class, so I won't be able to go too deep. If a sanguine should go into what is meant for a melancholy, that sanguine will be broken. You now see that a sanguine can be depressed. Because why? He's not wired that way. It's just, for instance, telling an introvert to become I'm trying to look for a sales rep. Now, am I saying an introvert cannot do it? Over time, you can learn. There are ways you overcome your weaknesses and they later transform. That's why, for those that read about spirit-controlled temperament, you can transform as a human being. You can train yourself through discipline and some other things to become better. But now I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about somebody that doesn't even make friends is difficult. You now put the person that go and start making money as a sales rep, go and start selling products for the company. And that is what some of us do. anyhow. I just want to get a job. I just want to make money. And the opening they have is sales rep, and you come home frustrated every day. Your mental health is affected. You are down. It's because you are where you are not supposed to be. But if you put a sanguine as a sales rep, it's just a matter of time before they'll start saying, oh, this person is making the best sales in the company. We need to give him a car. Oh, this person is, because that is where it thrives. That's if a sanguine is in a room, it will become everybody's friend in a twinkling of an eye. Unlike a melancholy, that one will still be there looking at everybody, studying the way they carry their leg, maybe this and this. But when you say, okay, a melancholy will thrive in something that has to do with observation, reasoning, when you are trying to attention to details, riddles, things that they are wired for. So you can start from there. What brought us to this is you knowing what you want. How do you know what you want? Know how you are wired first. If you're finding it so difficult. And why I mentioned that you should permit me because I'm a Christian is that the way I do it is to have the Holy Spirit. It is very easy that way because for those that believe in what I just want to say, He made you so He knows what you are wired for. For those who want to do it through temperament study, you need to know who you are. Until you can know who you are, you can't know where you are going. It's just like telling somebody to eat fufu and akara together. I know some strong brothers, some strong guys can try it. But if your as a majority, your system will tell you that yes, we are not welcoming this. Your digestive system will tell you we are not welcoming this. It's not suitable for this body. So you need to know who you are. By that, you will know what you want, what you are wired for. I'm into tech, but I'm here to tell you that it's not everybody that is supposed to be in tech. And that's why, thank God, there are aspects in tech that are not just techie, like coding and all that stuff. Some people are just like, because tech is raining, I must do tech. No. Know what you're wired for. It's not everybody that must go into real estate. Because somebody is making millions there doesn't mean you are wired for it. You will thrive where you are wired for. Like it will literally be what you are meant to do, what you are made to do. It will come natural. It will come natural. Now, there's a thin line between what you are wired for and what you need to learn and become. Don't now think because I don't have these traits or I don't have these qualities, it is not meant for me. That's why I said it is a thin line. And this thing comes from learning and growth. Sometimes you need to try 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 things before you really know what you are meant to do. And that's why I started this section, the next point I picked by saying, if you don't know what you are meant to do, like if you are lost, it is totally understood. You are not the only one. Meanwhile, cannot tell me that the day he entered Lautech was the day he knew where he was going. It is a lie. So for graduates, if you don't even know what you are, like your life looks so useless to you, see, it is very natural. Don't let social media put you on a point of depression. Nobody will come to social media and paste the days when they were down and depressed. They will always show you when they were in Maldives, when they were eating different things. They will only show you the bright side of their life. Nobody will go there and show you that, oh, see, when I wake up in the morning, I saw Gary. They will not show you, even if it is Gary. And that's why you see that it's only fine houses. People will snap and say, oh, coming from this and this. So don't let media pressure you. Don't let peer pressure get you to what you shouldn't do. Sometimes you might need to talk to somebody. You might need to like speak with someone to know these things. So let me just finish on the point of there's a thin line between what you are wired for and the things you need to learn and unlearn to know where you are going. And that's why I'm talking about speaking with someone. So for instance, now, I usually am not, I'm like an ambivert. I'm not too outspoken. I'm not too introverted. Like, I'm very confident I can hold a conversation and all that. But speaking in front of a large crowd was not something that comes to me naturally. But when I was in school, I was holding positions that would make me, speak in front of a large crowd, teach. I was part of in my fellowship, I was part of those that were teaching people. They call it academic session. We'll take tutorials, we'll teach. And that skill was building. Before, I can't speak like this and be confident. I'm dishing out, throwing my hands everywhere. I can't do that. But it came after several trainings, after several use. So that you don't see something, that you don't see a potential, doesn't mean it is not there. And that's why I said you might need to talk to somebody. These persons are experts and they will like help you in knowing, oh, okay, they'll ask you some questions. They give like career advice and all that. I do that for people too. So they would ask you questions. Oh, what do you think about this? For instance, they will ask you to pick between a cooked cake, a baked cake, and a fried cake. And you're looking at it that this thing is very stupid. Cake is always baked. But people that think outside the box, that's where you see them saying like, they won't just go like, baked cake now. They'll be like, oh, if cake is fried. So from there, they can study your reactions to the questions, know that, oh, okay, this person is quite inquisitive. This will go for this person. This will go for that person. I don't know if you get. So let me just round up this point by saying you need to have a goal. You need to know where you're going. I've discussed that you might not know the full picture. You might even need to find yourself. Most times you need to find yourself before you can say, oh, I know where I want to go. So it's okay, but you need to have a goal. Then the next point I'll be talking about is make smart plans. Now, it's not that smart plans is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely plans. It's not only good for you to have a goal. For instance, I live in Lagos. Let's say I'm going to, for those that know Lagos very well, let's say I'm going to Oshodi and I'm living at, what is this far place from Oshodi? Let's say I'm living at Songwater and I'm going to Oshodi. Oshodi is my destination. There are several ways to get there. Or instead of Oshodi, let me pick somewhere that is like you can come from everywhere to get there. Okay, let's say I'm going to Lekki and I'm living at Songwater. See, from that point to that point, there are different routes to get there. You can decide and say, okay, when I get to, I'll try and link it to Abulegba. From Abulegba, I'll take BRT, or I can just take Oshodi straight. Then from Oshodi, I can take BRT. And some very innocent-minded people can say, maybe I'll get to Ikorodu first. Then I'll take the ferry from Ikorodu to Lekki. And some very open-minded person can say, I can pass, like when I get to Oshodi, I can take Obalende or CMS, and from there, I can find my way to Lekki. The truth is they will all get to Lekki, but they will not get to Lekki at the same time. What am I trying to say? No matter where you are journeying to, how you go about that journey matters a lot. You might want to be a software engineer, a project manager, what was all those big words again? A cybersecurity expert, all this career, this thing. Or you want to be a chief technology officer, or you want to even be a CEO, something like that. Like CEO is a good thing, don't come for me. You want to be chief executive officer. They should be calling me CEO too. Please don't be CEO of nonsense. So make sure whatever you are CEO of is making millions. That's bad. So you want to be something. You found that you're wired to be something. But how you make that journey, remember in SMART, there is time leap. So you don't waste time. You don't end up getting to a journey that will just be, that should just have taken you 5 years to get to, and it's taking you almost 39 years. Don't we've talked about several things that we and that, but you need to make smart plans. The truth is, these things you absolutely can't do them alone, and that's where you don't need to bury yourself in that your room, thinking that manna will fall just because manna has been falling when your parents have money and all that. You need to meet with people, have mentors. And in meeting with people, please don't meet with the bad ones. Make sure you have a filter, because people can also tell you things that you just don't just take everything. Don't have diarrhea from taking everything. They say this conference, piam, you have gone. That conference, piam. What am I trying to say? Smart plans. Are you going to make mistakes? Of course, yes. Yes, the yes is very capital. But so that you don't make, there are some mistakes that are very detrimental and some they make. Don't make detrimental ones. And that is the reason for this conference itself. So you don't make detrimental mistakes. You learn, you are able to make smart plans. Okay, for instance, I want to be a project manager, and the reason why I want to be a project manager is because I want to create products that I want to ensure that products that are created are making the lives of people easy. I've seen many products that were created, and I'm a very tech savvy person, and I always say this thing, that any app I cannot understand, nobody can understand it. No matter how technical that app is. I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet. I'm just saying, like, it's anything tech comes to me naturally. I'm easily able to pick something, and like, most times I don't need to read some documentation to understand that, oh, these have to work like this, these have to work like this. Everybody, well, don't let me say everybody, but most people that are like that would understand what I'm saying. So many people have created what should make the life of people easy. They've even made it complex. So what am I saying in essence? know what you want to like solve, know the problem you want to solve. Oh, I want to become a cyber security expert because I don't want people's life being like their security being jeopardized. I don't want people losing money because one clown somewhere just learns how to act and want to dupe people online. No, like from this, you're able to know, okay, your whatever you are trying to make, whatever you are getting, the plans you're trying to make, they are realistic, they are relatable. Not that I want to make an app that will take people to heaven. Yes, it is very realistic. But if somebody already said, see, Mio, I don't want to have anything to do with this thing. I don't want to say it, so you don't misunderstand me. If somebody already said, whoa, ọ̀run yẹn bóyá àwọn kan ló máa débẹ̀. You have sorry that I'm laughing, but don't make things that are not realistic. Don't make plans. Okay, for instance, now you're saying you want to be a software developer or a software engineer, and you're saying you want to have 29 hours to study every day. How many hours are there in a day? It's not realistic. Like, create plans that you can relate to. Like, be true to yourself. Make sure they are specific. Oh, in 5 years I should be in this place. So in my first year as an intern, these are the things I want to achieve. In my second year, I should have moved from an intern to maybe a junior level developer. These are the stack that will be in place, and maybe there's an upgrade, there are new starts coming out, you learn this, you just put space for those ones, like just in case. Okay, in my third year, I should be a mid-level developer. This is the type of companies I want to work for. And if you're an entrepreneur at this is what I want to create. These are the things I want to do. Like, make sure they are realistic. The truth is, they can be realistic to you, but if you have somebody you trust, you can show that person. And the person, if the person is truthful enough, the person will say, bro, these things are not, they are not realistic. Now, am I saying you should, for instance, now the person that invented electricity would have been told that your plans are not realistic. It is not possible. What are you thinking about? I'm not saying you should kill your inventions because you want to make realistic goals. Like I said, I'm always saying here, there are thin lines between these things. You need to be able to decipher. If you know this is what you are supposed to make, and it doesn't look like nobody, not even Imole that is talking, understand, please pursue your goals. The end will justify the means. We would understand at the end of the day. Do you get me? Do you get the difference? Am I saying you should not make realistic goals? But while you are making your realistic goals, don't kill your inventive spirit. Don't kill that spirit of invention in you. I want to see people that will build things and they'll say, oh, they are Nigerians. They are they are from this place. They are Ladokites. Permit me if you are not a Lautech student here. I want to see that. I also learn things. So I love creating things. So I won't tell you to kill that spirit. But please, you will know if your plans are, except if you are delusional. Some people are just delusional and they just like to live in that pseudo world they've created for themselves. I'm not talking about those ones. I'm talking about people that actually know what they want and they are ready to go for it. So I would like to go to the next one because of time. Know the requirements to make the plans achievable. I've told you to make smart plans. Now you need to know what is required to make these plans achievable. For instance, you want to become a medical doctor and you don't like blood. Like, how does it relate? You literally be seeing blood almost every day of your life. You want to become a nurse and you don't like human vomit, you don't like speed, you don't like seeing things that will make that irritating. You're talking about taking care of human beings. Yeah, how will you? It doesn't relate. Like, some people say co-gel, like it's not gelling. Permit me. Know what is required. This thing will require that I have this also amount of sleep. Hard work, resilience, diligence. Or this thing will require that I have this skill. You can't say you want to become a caterer and you don't want to learn how to cook or how to bake or how to, like, what do you want to become again? So know what is required of you. These things, like, if it's possible, get a book to write this. Always write things down. Write the vision down. Even the scripture said it. Write these things down. The faintest pen is better than the sharpest brain. Put it into writing and paste them where you can see them. If the room is not yours, or maybe you are living with somebody and you cannot paste them, put them in your journals where you open every day. Look at this thing. This is what I want to become. Don't let the present pleasure sweep you off of the future manifestations that you need to dish out. We are waiting for the manifestation of sons. We are waiting. We are all waiting. Everybody's waiting for your manifestation. Don't let it get to that time and you won't give them what you have been wired to give. So know what is required. Be disciplined enough. So the next point I put down is discipline in doing all required and plans. Even when you have legitimate reasons to shift focus. I'm writing these things. I'm not writing big grammar so that I like coming to very relatable state. There are times, every day of your life, there'll be legitimate distractions. These are two words that shouldn't go together, but I'm putting them together because they would always happen. Legitimate distractions that want you to shift focus. But you have to tell yourself, this is what I want. Glory doesn't come from lazing around or from pleasure. It comes from pain. And that's why people there's this saying that, I don't know how they put it, but what they're trying to say is that for every glory, there's a pain. When I'm talking about pain, I'm not talking about maybe you pinch yourself and you feel that pain, not that kind of pain. Like, you have to give something to get something. Life is about trade and barter. And that is why life is based on principles. When you give diligence and smart work, I won't even call it hard work now. When you give diligence and smart work, you get results. Consistency. The truth is, you will get results. You can't keep eating and hammer on a nail, and you say whatever you are trying to penetrate is not entering. It's not possible. It will enter because you are eating it. There is work done. It is only something you live in a state of rest that will be there, inertial. It's still funny, I remember those things. Whatever is in a state of rest, Newton law of motion, it will always be there, except an external force. So don't expect to keep doing the same thing and getting different results. It's not possible. When you did the first time and you get the same result, don't do it that way again because you get the same result. Give the needed disciplines. Your brother cannot help you when it comes to this matter. Your younger sister or elder sister or that your uncle. Nobody can help you do these things. You need to do them yourself. And that's why we canceled out from the beginning any form of entitlement mentality. Nobody owe you anything. The day you let that sink into your head, the day you know that, yes, it is time, not even your fiancé or husband. Yes, for married couples, you say you owe yourself to, yes, do this. I understand. See, I understand all those things. I'm also married, so I understand. Don't worry, I understand. And you're supposed to get a level of support system. Yes, I understand. The government is supposed to help you, but we are talking about a state of crisis where we are assuming that nobody sent you. And the last thing I put here is seek your plans when achieved and celebrate your small wins until the goal is achieved. You can come out of the crisis. Celebrate your small wins. Pop those dreams and be like, yes, I did this. Like, celebrate yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself, even though you have to be hard on yourself. I hope somebody understands that. Celebrate your small wins. When you see, when that, let your first year, you got that internship, celebrate it. And they said, don't worry, we're going to move you to this level. It's your own win. Because finally, when you get to that stage, what will still keeping you there is the reason why you started. So let me stop here so that we can entertain questions. And bring your questions. I would like to answer them. I hope I didn't eat too much. Okay, we still have 5 minutes from my end. So yes. Yes, sorry, I really have to explain that. So don't see, you can, we are all coming out of this crisis. It's not going to eat us up. So let me hand over to Muiwa. All right, thank you so much. Bring in your questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ma. We really appreciate this. Especially the last one. I mean, the last one speak to me. Celebrate your small win. It's maybe based on my own personality, anyways, or based on my requirement. Sometimes to be able to capture the win can be a little bit, especially maybe you did something. It's just part of it. It's not anything. Or this one, it's just part of it. Anything. Maybe sometimes when I'm not in church and then my head now come together and say, guy, this thing are not just small thing. Right? So it's something for me that I think I will start planning how to do it consciously and make it. Let's see if you have question. Anybody you want to ask a question, you want clarity, or you need something to. Maybe there's a point you just need to buttress more on and explain a little bit more. Anybody? Okay. Adedolapo Ebiyemi, Adeleke Mercy, Fumilola Olaiwola, Oluwatoyin Adeyanju, Oluwadamilola, Ibukun, Precious, Harrison. All right. So let me just ask my question based on the last one. So for a personality like myself, how do someone consciously celebrate to win? And how will I explain it to be much more have context? Okay, for my own personality, it's very difficult for me to be able to put win into more like this is a win or this is a win. So everything just look like a process. We are just going, we are just going. So we just continue, just continue. Maybe one day we just see something that look like a win. So maybe yesterday I can see something like, this thing will be a big thing. But when I get to that today of that yesterday, it just look like, oh, it's just normal life. You just outgrown what you were and then you become something else. So we just continue the journey until when we get to one point, maybe we can celebrate it. So how do someone like me create a culture to be able to celebrate wins? If it makes sense, I don't know. Nah.
Okay. I would say I like seeing life as a project. So I break things into milestones. So let's say, for instance, you're working on a project. I would like to use a project so you get the picture. And you are 50%, or let me say 20% complete in that project. You've done 20% completion and it is successful. Something that would make the other 80% work out. You celebrate it. For instance, as a software developer, you learn your HTML, CSS, JavaScript. After learning your HTML and you know it, celebrate it. When I mean celebrate, you don't have to come to the rooftop and shout it to everybody. You might just get yourself something that you really want. For instance, I like to buy myself things. I can just, I'm an advocate of eating well, like fresh fruits, all those kind of things. So some ways I celebrate is to enter a very big restaurant or eatery or a nice place and buy myself something nice. I'll sit down and eat it and say, Imolia, you're well done. It boosts your mental energy. It helps your mental psyche. So you have to know what you like. I love good food. So my body, I'm happy when I do that for myself. Sometimes I'll just get myself things and sometimes you may come to social media and do it. So am I saying put your life out there? No, but know what would boost you mentally and do it. Do you get it?
Yes, sure. Thank you, Ma. What's her name? Ibukun, yeah, you can go ahead. Is Ibukun still here?
Yes, I'm here, sorry.
Yeah, no, you can go on.
Yeah, good evening.
Good
evening, Ma. Yes. Actually, I want to ask a question. That's to do with the temperament. Actually, I was trying to type it before. Then I discovered that maybe I should just explain it better so it should make more sense. And it's like temperament, you're explaining, okay, then you use the example of the sales rep and home. And there's something I want to ask some specifics about that. Something like there's this how will I put this question? Okay, more like you said you can learn how to like adapt to some other situations. Like when you use the example about yourself, that when you talk, like before you're not the kind of person that talks, but you have to learn it. Now, in the issue of temperament, you might not really be the person like that is used to that thing, but you build it up. Now, using that sales rep as an example. Now, you might be a sales rep by maybe like a shy person, and then this Nigeria right now that we have, really, I understand you cannot blame the country, you just have to work out your whole thing. People are using this crisis as a means of getting money, so it is possible for you to make this thing favor you. But now there is no job anywhere. Now the little job you can get, let's say in a startup company, then get this little job, and then the job they gave you is the sales rep. Now, we are going to what you said, it's not easy to build up complete you. What about situation where you learn it, then you outgrow those situations or stuff? Or is it that you just have to like ignore that job and you sit down and keep looking for the one that will favor your temperament, personality, so you not keep beating yourself up and keep complaining about everything? That's what I want to ask now.
Okay.
I hope you understand my question, ma.
Yes. You're trying to ask that, should I just go for whatever I'm doing, for instance, what I want or what I've planned out, knowing that the state of the country there.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. I'll answer this option. All right. And the first thing I'll say is that for someone that's not, when I was talking earlier, I said it's not everyone that will be at that point of knowing this is outrightly what I want and this is when I want it. So you can, at least whatever you're fine doing at the moment, do it well till you can get to that point of defining what you want, then going for it, rather than sit idle. I don't know if you get me. And the second way I would answer it is, the second option I'll give is that if you already know what you want, for instance, let's say you know that, oh, I want to be a project manager. If you don't have the means to learn the skill, maybe you have to pay for some courses, you have to learn, and you are not able to get maybe scholarship or get a free coding this thing to support. I don't know if you get me. You can, at the moment, try to, for instance, get a sales rep job. While that's whatever you want to learn, the skill you need to learn to become a project manager. All I'm just trying to say is that in all that you do, don't just take what life dish out at you and just sit at it and say, this is where I found myself, or like most people did in school. Lautech has given me this. Well, I'm not even crossing. And some people still cross because they know what they want. But don't sit there, don't just take what life dish out at you. Be sure this is what you want to do. Don't start loving the job you hate because you want to just kasha amadupe. No, don't ever put yourself in that state of kasha. For those that don't understand you, but like, let's just take it and be thanking God. I'm not saying you should not thank God, but you are a wonderful being with so much potential. Why settle for less? So while you are doing whatever, I'm saying this for people that don't, some persons have good support system that they can say, oh, till I can get this skill, I have what can keep me going. I have people that can support me. Some people don't have that. So recognize your state and know what applies. And that's why I said you might have to speak to somebody, because our journey are not the same. What apply to this journey will be different. The kind of steps we'll take, the kind of plans you make will be different. Even if myself and me, we want to end up in, we want to do the same things at the end of the day, because of where we find ourselves. Number one, the kind of family you have, the kind of support system you have, the advantages you have. It might have advantages I don't have. I might have advantages it doesn't have. He might have one uncle that will sponsor him to learn the skills he needs to learn before he can get a job. While for some, they don't even have that support system. So know what applies for you, then go for it. But don't at any point, while learning or getting that thing that you just came your way, don't at any point sit with it and say, well, let me just forget that thing I said I would. There is danger in that, because you'll never be fulfilled. and you might now want to force it on your children. Children that came to this world to fulfill what they want to do. You now say you must become a doctor because that's what you wanted to be in your own time, but you were not able to be it. Now want to force it on those innocent children. Please leave them alone. So I don't know if you get me. Let me stop there. Do you get me, IBK?
Ibukun,
Yes, ma, I did. Yes, thank you, ma.
All right.
Thank you very much, ma.
You're welcome.
Any other person you want to ask a question, clarification, or thereabout?
Yes, ma. I don't know if it's a question or like an advice. I think I need an advice. So, me personally, before, probably when I was in like 100 level and backwards, I was this reserved person. I couldn't talk. I couldn't hold a conversation. Well, I'm not still good now. I still slaughter. I still have these itches that unconsciously same. I've done it again. So like I'm not really that eloquent yet, but I'm different from what I was before. And why I changed was probably because okay, I listen to motivational speakers, inspiration, and I know where I want to be, and I know that okay, with the current way I am wired, I wouldn't achieve what I want to achieve. I wouldn't move out of the box. I wouldn't achieve much based on some situations that just happened to my parents, like suddenly that just changed everything. So I had to like reset my brain that wow, before there's no money to do what I want to do and blah blah blah. So what I'm not saying is that okay, now that I've changed, I'm now kind of like an extrovert. Sometimes it gets to a time like because it's not my default attitude. Probably I'm like an extrovert for like 2 weeks. For like 1 week, I can get there. Will I say depression stroke or I'll just shut down whereby I'll just probably sleep on the bed. I'll just feel myself being sluggish. Everybody will be complaining that I didn't do any, like, yeah, why are you sleeping like this and everything like that. Then probably the next week, I can pick up again or it can last longer. Like, how can I balance that? Or should I, like, I don't know, like, I think I need clarifications as regards that now.
Okay. Yeah, so I can relate to that. Don't worry. What happens most times for introverts is that we have triggers. You notice that sometimes you're just so happy. It's like this is the best day of your life, and the next minute just so like some even turn into depression. And you're like, depression is a strong word, but I'm using it because, or let me say, one is just gloomy and nothing even interests you. Now, what you need to realize is that nobody or nothing should either make you happy or make you sad in life, not even your failures. You need to bring yourself to that state of mind. I'm not so I'm not to like for you and say you need to aspire to aspire with Maguire. No. But what I'm going to say is that you need to put yourself in that default setting of see, these are the things I need to achieve. And that's why when I was talking, I said be disciplined enough. If it will come easy, we won't use that word discipline. Just look for, like I said, triggers that make you happy. Some can be listening to music. Music works for me. Or surrounding yourself with the right people. I have people that I'll just talk to that. Even when I don't understand why I'm feeling that way. And the person will tell me that, is there any reason why you're down? I check, this is me from, it's not like somebody did anything, I'm just sad. Why should I be sad? So when I'm talking to that person, I get to understand that there is no reason why I should be like this, and I pick up myself. So know your triggers, know what helps and what doesn't help you. If it's music for you, do it. If it's cooking, do it. Know your triggers. And if you don't know how to know your triggers, you can speak with me. Let's get to know what triggers you and what can help you, so that you avoid those things that will make you gloomy and you live your best life. All right. Do you understand?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. I get you, ma.
All right.
But how can I connect you later, ma?
Just what's the name again? Let me check.
I did laugh again.
For again. Okay, I'll drop my number. Sorry. You're welcome. All right, I've sent it.
All right, thank you, ma. Any other question? Anybody else?
Ask your question though. I'm happy to always help.
Yep. Where else? Should I call your name? I should ask your question. All right, that's good. All right, since you want to ask your question, so okay,
No,
so
somebody saying it's a disadvantage to be an introvert. It's not. I'm an introvert, and I own it with my full chest. Whatever vat you are so blessed. Nothing God has not created anything. That scripture said, after creating everything, he looked at it and said, it is good. Everything, to the point of plants and animal, everything God made, even that out you are seeing on that tree, God saw him as good. No, there's no disadvantage. You just need to know what works and what doesn't work, and now to find your way. Sorry. Sorry, I flagged off. Nobody's disadvantage. All right. Yeah. You can go ahead, Mira.
yeah, Adeleke Messi, maybe you should ask your question by saying it out rather than typing it, so that we can help your introvert thing. Anyways, I'm joking, but I just see if you want to say it out anyways. Like she said, avenues help a lot for you to be able to relate to people, especially the world we are. If you cannot communicate, is a whole minus. Is a whole minus. I mean, it will hurt you more than you can imagine. You just see someone else that doesn't know half or quarter of what you know, and the person can communicate fine and get stuff. So I think everybody can learn to communicate, and everybody communicate in quote. It just sometimes some people need the environment, and why some persons can go anytime, any day. So Adeleke Messi, if you want to speak, yeah, you can go on and see.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Shebi, Ibuku will not let us finish our own first.
Sorry.
All right, you can go on, Ibuku. Don't worry, you can go on. Oh, yeah, awesome.
Okay.
Ibuku, wait, don't go on. Sorry, Ibuku. Adeleke Messi, can you say something? Say hello to us. Greet us.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, you can ask your question. Don't greet us good evening. All right, Ibuku, you can go on. Don't mind me. Ibuku.
Okay. Yeah, actually, it's just the question just came the moment I heard what you said last about communication. So I just remember, actually, at work right now, I'm having one issue. Once they are saying anything in the office, I just keep quiet. So when and then it started US, UK, sorry, and then he's this kind of person that has a meeting with us on Mondays and on Fridays. So what he does is this: when you have an idea, maybe you have a thing that can help the company move forward. Most of the time, people used to talk, but I used to keep quiet because I noticed one thing: we are just like 7 or 8 in the office, and then there's too much politics. Like the politics is just too overwhelming that they are now. I don't know, when we were even just 6 in the office, they were, in fact, they were not sectioning themselves to group. The tackle was always too much. The manager in the company, they're just sitting as a figurehead. Everybody was sending direct mails to the CEO at UK. Everybody was sending direct message. But I just felt like, so it's not proper. So I just kept quiet. Now, and I noticed something. My other colleague that we came in together, he talks more. He's this kind of person that talk, whatever thing. Even the most funniest ideas, he bring it up. Sometimes they will tackle him, sometimes he still talk. And I discovered that they are kind of sidelining me now and going him. In a sense, if something happened just yesterday, my boss, I was sitting right there in that meeting, and then he set up a meeting with him and excluded me right there, and I'm there, my presence there. And then he's telling me that, okay, we have a meeting, just me and you, we plan on how we're going to go. And no, we don't need to include IBK. I don't can sit down on one side, don't worry. It's just me and you. And I was just looking at that. Wait, am I not in this company coming together? And I was still looking at the politics, though it wasn't that brought him in. I'm like, what kind of thing is this? Now I'm not asking. Now I'm trying to talk, though. I've been trying to say things, but now I'm not like looking like what I see. There was one time I brought an idea, and then by the time the GM was going to talk, the next thing he said was that he called my other colleague to go to that particular place. The idea I brought, he told the other one to go there. I'm not looking at it. How can I rectify the situation? What do I do? Because now I've been keeping quiet for a very long time. Now they've not started lying me serious in the whole office. But once it comes to anything, it's just one person that has to drag me in. Anything that has to do with this thing. But now they've said, I don't know, how do I rectify the situation?
Okay. It's a good one, and most people have issues communicating. Communication is knowing when to be quiet and when to speak. And there's something they call, the workplace is another world entirely. You need to have or learn some soft skills to be able to thrive. You need to sell yourself. You need to put yourself out there. But while you are selling yourself, don't go and sell nonsense. Don't go and tell them in your wanting to communicate, don't go and tell them rubbish. And they will be like, so what our colleague has been doing is selling himself. Telling is also that, thank God you recognize that, oh, you've not been putting yourself out there to the extent that you should have. And you started like putting yourself out there. Fine, let them send him to whatever you have, the idea that you brought up. When you keep giving those good ideas, it will come to your time. I don't know if you are getting me. So in the aspect of some companies, yes, most companies, but some just like, I don't know what is inside you until you say it out. I don't know how good you are until you make me see it. I'm not God that can see your heart. I can only see whatever you give to me. So keep putting yourself out there. If whatever you're doing in that company is what you really want to build on, start learning about how to be better. For instance, I don't know what to do in your company, but there are 1001 free content out there that you can learn. Even this communication, I learned it. People that, okay, some people, most people here might not really know when I was still very raw. I'm talking about when I was just in my PD 100 level. I don't know how to talk to people. I was very rude. I thought it was confidence. I didn't know it was being rude. And that was just me because I'm a choleric by nature. I have that choleric trait. So if you dish it out, I give it to you back. Fire for fire. Regardless of the level you are. I'll just talk to 500 level. Please hold it. Like, you'll be like, Jesus, like, is it me, this small girl did this too? But that was just me. But I had to learn how to communicate. I had to understand human nature. This is when I started learning temperament, started knowing how to relate with people. now in every place I've worked, I've never had issues with people. Why? Because I understand you as a person and I work with you that way. I know what you, because I've studied you, because I've read a lot about temperament, human nature, and all those things. So communication comes easy. I know when to start a conversation and when not to start it. But now, you might know all these things that I know, or you might not even know it. That doesn't even stop you from giving whatever you need to give. But you know the situation in your office. You've communicated some of it to me. So I'm speaking on the premise of what you've given me right now. So keep putting yourself out there. Keep putting your ideas. Don't do so I won't say much, no to boss. And know the kind of people you're dealing with. If there are people that they want you to just, when it is when you like dish out ideas that makes them happy, then do research. Google is there for a reason. When you're working on a project, research it more elaborately and don't compete. Don't try to beat the other guy. Like don't now center the whole essence of your life on being better than somebody in your office. It's not so nice for so much potential that is in you. Just try and beat your yesterday self. Become better. Do you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Adeleke Mercy, can I ask why did you write that it's a disadvantage to be an introvert with a question mark? I just want to know, like, I want to understand the situation. Sorry, I when I saw it, I was like, Kilele, what's this? I'm an introvert. Why will you be saying the disadvantage? Okay, Olaiwola from Lions and is up.
Okay.
Adeleke Mercy, can you just quickly explain then? Fumi Layo would talk so we don't take so much time.
Hi, Messi.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
Okay, I was just asking that is it a disadvantage like to be an introvert? Like, this feeling that you have, like maybe people are talking, they are this thing and you are just left behind, you don't have the like maybe the agility to actually move with what they are saying to actually contribute. Sometimes that feeling you will have will be like, what is this? What is going on? That's why I asked the question.
Okay, I understand. Can I ask you a question? When people are making those contributions, what are the things you do best in that scenario? For instance, let me give a scenario. Now, people are giving their ideas. Do you analyze things better? Like, do you observe? What are the things you do better in that kind of scenario?
All right, okay. One thing I know I do better is I actually observe a lot. Actually, I know that I actually observe. So I might at that point, I may not have anything to say. I may not even have the boldness to say anything, but I'm actually taking note of most of the things that is actually going on.
All right. Most of the people that are actually contributing and saying a lot, they don't have that attention to detail that you have. What am I trying to say? Some people's strengths are your own weakness, and some people's weakness are your strength. Don't make what is your own weakness that you see as a strength in somebody else make you feel bad about yourself. That is why we are wired differently. Am I saying you should not become better? No. I say not good, no. But don't compare yourself. Those are full, because what is plus in you is also minus in them. Do you get it?
Yes, ma. Understand. Thank you so much, ma.
You're welcome. Okay, Olaiwola.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm also one of the introverts.
Yeah.
Yes, it took me a lot of time to want to speak up. Question is this: I'm a little bit of an extrovert, but more of an introvert, and I have a goal and want to achieve something which would need me to be outspoken, like communicate, face an audience with time. But then when it comes to platforms or gatherings, what I do most is just listen. And at the end of the day, probably the following, the evening or the next day, then I bring out a list of the things that I picked from the meeting. And so when I talked to a friend, I once told a friend, and she was like, you won't, like, you don't process things. Is it now that you just realize it? I want to be able to maximize that, I would say, an advantage. And as well, that sanguine part of me, I want to be able to harness it so that this shy introvert, or I don't know what kind of word to place it. I don't want it to, because it's actually been hindering me from doing a lot of things. So I want to come out of it. Do I really need to go and do public speaking? Because I've considered to go and learn public speaking or how to communicate. I've considered doing that, but then I just have this restraint. How do I go about it?
Okay. If you have to do the public speaking, like if it's something that you can get, you can go for it. It would help. I don't know the type of content you want to go for, so I can't say, oh, it will be okay, because for content too, you need to be careful so they don't fill you with so much motivational nonsense. I end up blowing up. That's just like it.
Yeah.
But now we've recognized from the premise of what you just told me, we've recognized that when you go for conferences, meetings, you tend to realize some things late, right? I want to like get all the premise so I know. Am I correct with that? Like you get to know
Yes.
that. Mhm.
Yes,
Or
I gathered the information that is going on at the moment, then get home and then start taking them out. And it's even when I have questions, I'm still processing the question, I'm processing the out the words before the whole
yes,
thing
I
ends,
get you. Oh, never just did their thing. Sorry about that. All right. So one thing is you can. It's not a bad thing actually to get home, then process, then ask questions. If the people that are in that conference are people that you can reach out to, maybe to their social media handles after the conference or meeting, then you can ask them those questions. I'm sure they should be able to answer you if they are not too busy people. And if you feel that, oh, I have to ask this question in those meetings, I don't want to be realizing it. Whenever you want to go for a conference or a meeting, you can do your research before you come for it. So when you're coming ready. You're like a prepared mind already. You know that, oh, you don't. And the truth is, when you go to conferences, not everybody that even asks questions. Like the majority process it. You are coming to meet something new, something you really don't understand, and somebody is making you understand it. Except if it is already in your line of expertise or it's something you meet with every day, you most likely will not have a question. Except if the person that is at the point of making whatever is being discussed in the conference, making it easy to understand, except if that person brings it to a relatable state for everyone. Then you can relate. Oh, sorry, I'm still in Nigeria. Sorry about all the noise. So I was saying, so if either the person brings it to a relatable state and you're able to ask questions. For instance, in this meeting, you're able to ask questions because you could relate to what I was saying. You're not at home when all these questions you're asking came. I'm making you realize that it is very normal. What is happening to you is very normal. Don't beat yourself to it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
So it is very normal. Normally, we should process things. We should get home and it's a good thing to get home and digest whatever you've gone out to get. And you're able to be like, oh, this is what this person said. And if you can't even do that in meetings, if you can't reach out to them, get some other persons that you think or you feel or you know have those answers and let them give you that answer. Or search, do your own research, try to, one way or the other, you would last ask the Holy Spirit, you get answers.
Okay.
I don't know if you get me. So it is very natural for it to happen. Now, in the aspect of communicating well, networking, interacting, public speaking, like having that enough confidence to speak in front of people, learn it. Like I said before, I learned mine came through years of use. Like it was subconscious because of the kind of fellowship I attended in school and the kind of positions I held during my university days. So I have to do it because nobody else will do it. I don't know if you get, like, I was put in positions where I have to do it. So either I am lying, I mean, either I'm crawling on the floor trying to do it, or I'm standing and in my belly I am falling down. Nobody's seeing that part, but I have to do it. Because I was put in that kind of positions, those things kind of built me. But now, yes, we've identified the problem. To solve it is to find ways. Okay, like you said, public speaking training, go for it. Any whatever training you need to do, communication, you can, these are soft skills you can learn.
Yeah.
And you would get it.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome. All right, over to you, Mira.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ma. I guess there's no more question. I believe there should be no more question. So I sincerely want to thank you, Ma, for the for honoring our invitation to come on the platform, right? And then for speaking to us and from sharing your thoughts, for sharing what your mind, and also asking our questions. Basically, I know for everybody it has helped them one way or the other. And for me personally, I've had one thing to go on and then readjust, and it could be better from my own perspective too. So I really want to appreciate you, Ma. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Right.
Thank you
That's
too.
great. I think this will be maybe like more than 2 years now that I'm seeing this face, right? I mean, in video. Yeah, so thank you so much, Ma. So guys, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
All right, so let's appreciate Mama. Let's do our appreciation. Let's appreciate for the time with
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. We appreciate
Very
it.
much.
I love you.
Thank you for your time.
All right, so Ma, if anybody wants to reach you, maybe based on anything, what platform is best for them to be able to reach you? Outside number, and if you decide number, I mean that's fine. So.
Okay, let me just share my main staff account. My staff account contains all my social media handles and my chats. Everywhere you can reach me. Just let me know that, oh, you're from this conference. I might not answer you in like a week or 2 weeks. It's not like I'm trying to prove anything. It's just that I'm quite busy and I'll definitely I read my chat.
Sorry, I can't hear you, Ma.